Now, the latest from the Brexit situation in UK. Now, what we know so far is that the Brexit impasse is continuing. The talks between the Labour and the government that was aimed at breaking the Brexit deadlock have ended without any agreement. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn wrote to Prime Minister Theresa May saying that the talks have gone as far as they can due to the instability of her government.
None of them. Indicative votes haven't the details of how.
I've just written a letter to the Prime Minister, just sent it to say that these talks have now reached what I believe to be a natural conclusion. The Prime Minister has announced the date she's leaving. There have been increasing noises off stage by Conservative cabinet ministers and others who don't agree with much of the talks or any of the discussion we're holding, so we are concluding the talks.
But have they achieved anything?
The government has not moved its position fundamentally. There are fundamental disagreements. We want to have a customs arrangement with the European Union that protects jobs and trade, and we want to have a dynamic relationship on rights. We've put those views very strongly to the government, and the withdrawal agreement bill will be brought forward.
Corbyn said that the Labour would oppose May's deal when it returns to the Parliament next month. The Labour Party wants a permanent customs union with the EU. This means that there is no provision for any internal tariff on goods sold between the UK and the rest of European Union. Labour Party also wants to keep the option of a second referendum open. May said that the government would consider some of the points that have come out of the meeting with the Labour. The Prime Minister said that there is a lack of quote-unquote common position within Labour over another Brexit referendum. May said that the difference between the Labour has made the cross-party talks have made, in fact, them all the more difficult. Remember, May struck a deal with the European Union last year. The deal has been rejected thrice since the then British Parliament. Now, Britain was supposed to exit the European Union on the 29th of March. The deadline has now been extended until the 31st of October. Polling is underway in Australia. Australians are voting to elect their new Prime Minister and the Parliament. This could be the first election in the world that is set to be decided on a climate policy. Debates over the climate policy have dominated Australia over the past 10 years. Australia is one of the few countries that has mandatory voting and a record 16.4 million enrolled voters. Liberal Nationalist government is seeking its third term. Scott Morrison became the Prime Minister in August last year after Malcolm Turnbull was ousted. Morrison is in fact facing a close contest with Australian Labour Party's Bill Shorten. Shorten has led the party for about 6 years now. In his election campaign, he has been emphasising on climate change, policies and the cost of living and health. However, Morrison has primarily campaigned on economic issues. He has taken a hardline anti-environmentalist and pro-traditional industry stance. The ruling government has committed to reduce emissions by 26 to 28% by 2030 in comparison to Labour's 45%. Final surveys ahead of the polls predict a victory of the Labour Party. They suggest that Morrison will have the shortest tenure among those who have served in the post in 1901.